Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to use the map image tool for Sunstrike 2 and all of its available mods, and this essentially allows you to create a template on the terrain in which you can fill in the blanks. Now how do you use this tool? Well, this here is the tool. I'll put a link in the description to the download, and it has three methods of execution. You can open images, so you'll insert your image in here, you'll pick the target map folder, and then once you click transfer, it'll print that onto the map. So in order to do it, first you'll need to open the editor and you'll need to create a new map. Now bear in mind your image has to be the same size as the dimension of the map. So we go for 512 by 512, and then I'm using GIMP here, but you can use anything. We'll create a new blank canvas at 512 by 512. You can use any image creation tool for this, of course. And let's go back in here. And let's take, I don't know, any of these blank maps that we want to overlay. Let's say this one. And we wanted to create our map like this. And we'll put this in here and we'll scale it down to the exact size it's supposed to be. So 512 by 512. There you go. So then that fits, and we will export it as a BMP file. It must be a BMP file, else it won't work. It can't be a PNG or a JPEG. So we'll call that test BMP. We'll export that. So now what you can do is what you're supposed to do. To outline things, you can draw, usually the darker the better, outlines on the map. Or you can duplicate the layer and create the layer behind as black, like this. Now GIMP is free to download, so you can do this yourself. Now essentially what's going to happen is when I rub this out, or wherever I rub out, there's a black line. Is it not visible? Yes, let's add an alpha channel so it doesn't just, destroy straight to the background. Okay, perfect. So let's say we draw, I'll do it, it doesn't need to be perfect because it's for a demo. If I, so it was so big, if I just do this, for example, and then like this, and then let's say we go a little crazy with a magic tool, and we turn all of this black. That's how we want our map to look. Essentially what you do is you make the outlines of buildings black. We'll just go for this for now. So we'll export this. I'm not giving it too much detail, obviously, because it's a test. We'll replace that. Okay, perfect. Now our map here. We'll save our test map, which is down here, test. Map 16. Okay, perfect. So now in here, we're going to open what I've just created. Is in this folder here. Perfect. Then the map folder should be map 16. So we're going to imprint this on map 16. And we're going to press transfer. Yes, we want to imprint this on map 16. And then it runs its course. It does take a while. And of course, to fit the narrative, obviously, if you wanted to, you can obviously rotate the image, but I'm not here to give you a tutorial on GIMP or photo editing software. So whichever one you wish to use for your map is sound, as long as it matches the resolution. The resolution matches the parameters of the map. It's a big image, it must be. It's taking a while. So while it does that, these are some examples I created for my Shanghai map. So there's one where I drew the borders way too thick and wrote in some dodgy looking text, Shanghai. And these are a few sample images I took just to try and test. But I originally, I'd finally settled on an image that NASA took from the space station and rotated it upside down, this one. So that the final product was this, but coloured in. You'll probably find it somewhere in this folder. Okay, and now that's completed, it's finally finished. So now we open the editor. We open map 16, and there you go. What I've just drew in GIMP is imprinted, and if you look here, essentially that's how. So this corner of the map is the bottom of the image. There you go. That's how you do it. And if we generate a bitmap so we can see the final result in, you know, a bit more detail, of course, once it finishes, well, because this map generation thing takes ages. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there we go. That's our final result, which isn't bad, and you could easily fill that in. I mean, you can even see the outline of roads, and I didn't even try there, but that would make a nice little map if somebody wants to spend hours on end creating it. And you can do this for any city, any map, from aerial photos. It specifically works with World War II images because they're black and white, which makes life easier. But in order to achieve this result, you just colorize the image. So originally it would be like, well, it would originally be the NASA picture anyway, was this, with actual color, and it's so detailed you can zoom in on like anything. So you just recolor it to black and white. It must be black and white, otherwise it won't work. You can't use colored images, and you can imprint text as well. I think that pretty much sums up the basics, and obviously you can mess around with it yourself and find things out. And I will put the link for this tool in the description. Thank you ever so much for watching, and hopefully you learned something and will be able to implement it into future designs.